Yeah, and how did we get here? All that
Yes.
kind of stuff like that. So the answers provided by the church in the previous civilization is, we got here through divine intervention, that we're here to live out plays of morality. That's why we're here to see if we're worthy to go to that other place they suggested. And then they say, well, how do you live here? And they say, well, we have the rules of the Bible, and you live by spiritual rules. And it's interesting because when we accepted those answers, we accepted the church as the truth provider. And if you had any questions about life and you wanted truth, you go to the guy wearing the black coat, the priest.
Right.
And then I say, and about 1869, the answers to the questions changed because rather than divine intervention as our source, science, that Darwinian point of view, recognized, oh my God, it's heredity that is provided for this, genetics, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of invoking God as our source, now in today's world, science has taken over the truth providing because people believe that science's answers are more accurate to them than church's answers.
Right.
They can
But it's
talk, oh,
another
evolution.
belief system, basically, because they really, maybe they know a little bit more than the church. We have to give them some credit, but
But
not
the, but
much.
but the fact is, since they're antagonistic, then then all of a sudden some of the church's things were left out because they're antagonistic to each other. But here's the funny part about it. Then you say, oh, once we accepted science's answers to those perennial questions, and we saw science as the source of truth, and no longer do we go to the guy wearing the black coat for our truth. We now go to the guy wearing the white coat for our
That's
truth.
funny. That is funny.
It is to me. It's kind of funny because we change uniforms now. So we say, well, what's true? And I say, well, what science says is true. And then I say, oh, if science says it's true and evolution is right and evolution is based on competition and a struggle for survival, then life is competition and struggle for survival.
And
And
not only
therefore,
that, it's based on freak mutations
exactly.
yeah, and that's
That's
sort of
the
where you,
first step.
yeah.
The first step in a Darwinian theory is what's called a random mutation. And you
Right.
say, oh, well, then the mutations that take us from a primitive form to a more advanced form were accidents. Well, if
Right.
that's random, yes, of course it's an accident. But then I say, philosophically, what does that mean at the ground level? That random mutations? I go, oh, ask a question. What is the purpose of human life on this planet? And then you go back and you go, well, hey, it happened by accident, so there's no purpose for us to be here. So enjoy it, do what you want. There's
Destroy
no
the
reason.
planet because it doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean
Extinctions,
anything.
who cares, right?
And now we understand, wait, there's a complete misunderstanding that evolution is not Darwinian. It's not based on competition. It's not driven by random mutations. That it's actually driven by something like adaptive mutations or beneficial mutations versus random. And I said, what's the difference? I said, beneficial mutation is an organism adjusting its genetics to be compatible with the environment. If
Right.
you're compatible with the environment, then you get supported.
Right.
But an organism that is outside of compatibility, that challenges the systems, challenges the life community, that nature view is like, well, you guys are like a virus on the system. You're destroying my garden. And nature has inevitably over history removed any life form that has come into the garden and destroyed the harmony. Well,
Right.
then you look at it and go, yes. And you can see why we're on the edge of this great, colossal change because either we learn to live in harmony with that environment
Mhm.
or the environment's going to get rid of us.
So you're saying
And
basically our philosophy is what's doing us in and the rest of the planet because of the narrow belief system dictated by our science and what you're so important, instrumental in leading the way of you could call it Lamarckian revolution, where
it
you
is.
it is where the organism evolves in concert with the environment. It's not random. It's dictated by where we're living. It makes so much. How could they not know this? It's